Good morning. It's Stacy from PeonyLaneDesigns.com. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, click the little blue button. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, and click the bell icon to be notified. All right, we are back in the she shop and we are going to do a craft today. I'm a little behind because the OG called me at 10 o'clock. It's now noon. We had some stuff. We had to save the world. We had to solve all the problems of the world. We always do. I miss the OG. I'm going to miss him at Christmas. I wanted to cry when we were talking about not to open his gift until Christmas and that we would FaceTime him. And he's got family and friends down there, his sister and his brother down there. So he's got people to be with. I have people to be with here. I still get sad because he's my dad. And we don't have mom anymore. Today's the anniversary of my mom's death, so I'm very sad. But just little things. It's little things you miss, right? So we talked for 2 hours, and I got a little behind, but we are going to do a craft project today. We're going to do a craft project. Remember when I went and bought these? Now, I know some of you are like, I bet I know what she's going to do with those. I bet you do too. But we're going to do it a little different. I got a bunch of different Christmas fabrics. This is a fun project because it's something you can do with scraps. So if you have any kind of sewing projects or scrap projects, or you know anybody who sews, you can collect all the little end cuts. Now, I cut these nicely with my inking shears, but you don't have to. If you know somebody who's a crafter or a quilter and they get little scraps of pieces, ask them to save them for you and you can make these Christmas ornaments. These were things that my grandma taught me to make. And I struggled to remember quite how. Why do I remember there being a wax involved? But I'm not going to do wax. But this is a quilted ornament. So you take these and you quilt it with this, and I'm going to rack my brain. It's been a hot second since Grandma was around to teach me these, and she did teach it to me as a child. I'm a little older than that now, like a couple weeks older than that. So my memory is not as good as it used to be, but we're going to remember together. And it's like the paper project that I showed you a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen that video, you should go back and watch it. Where I may forget some steps. I don't know. We'll find out. I did try and go online and look to see if there's somebody out there who had a tutorial, a proper tutorial on how to do this before I made one. And everybody was cutting them in like an eye shape. So like a shape eye. And they were just doing like strips of fabric around it. My grandma didn't do that. My grandma literally had scraps from her quilts. So she was a quilter and she would save the bits of scraps. And I bought Christmas fabric. It doesn't have to be Christmas fabric. It can be any fabric you want. It makes interesting crazy quilt ornaments. So that's exactly when I see the one that she had, like I have one. When I see it, I think of a crazy quilt. Like there was no pattern. It didn't follow a specific pattern around the whole thing. And if you know crazy quilts, they're just whatever fabric they had left to put together. Can't even imagine how difficult those are to make. I'm thinking that's like the worst. But anyway, that's what she did on these. Like she would just save her scraps and then she would make these, and that's it. So we're going to do it. I'm going to show you what I remember of making them. Like I said, I did look up a tutorial and I saw how they were doing it. They used glue. Grandma didn't use glue. We didn't glue. It's a really simple process. It's something that you can do with kids. Obviously, I learned as a kid, and it's something you can use to use up your scraps, even though I don't have any because I don't sew. I don't sew. I guess I could save upholstery fabric, but I think that would be a little too thick. I don't know. Maybe I should try an upholstery one. Like all the projects that I do this year, save the upholstery fabric and try one. I have upholstery fabric. I could try upholstery fabric in this. But you can find just little pieces of fun fabrics. So if you're ever out thrifting or at garage sales, they'll always have like a little stash of fabric somewhere. Sometimes I'll even see bundles, like little bundles put together at the thrift store of a bunch of random fabrics. If you don't sew, you're like me and you don't have any, go pick that up. I did find this stash of Christmas one in a bunch of different patterns. And when I say a bunch of different patterns, at Picket Fence. So our owner had been selling these quilt packs and I bought one. Mostly because I wanted this tartan. I wanted that. Because remember I was looking for plaids a little while ago, back when it was still warm. Although it's fairly warm here in Minnesota right now. It's raining, not snowing. Really bummed out. I was looking for a few plaids, and this is the plaid I wanted and didn't find. So I did want the bundle for this specifically, and I kept the bulk of that plaid unsullied. And then she had all of these other Christmas pieces in there, and I thought, well, I either have to bundle them up and sell them again, or I'm going to do something with them. And I knew I had picked these up at the thrift store, and I thought, it's been a hot second since I did a quilted Christmas ornament, so we're about to do one. Okay, so now you're facing the surface. If you have scrap fabric and it's already cut into shapes or whatever, you can just start going with that. But I'm gonna just cut a little circle out here. Kinda, and I'm using my pinking shears just so they don't unravel. You don't have to. You can see this will start to fray and unravel. But you don't have to. You don't have pinking shears, just use scissors. Just make sure you got good scissors, sharpen your scissors. You will need an X-Acto blade and something to like push the fabric down into the ball with. And actually, I think this is a palette knife. It's for artists. You can get these at Dollar Tree and they're paint kits. This would actually work in place of an X-Acto knife. So if you see, I'm just like punching down into the ball, the foam ball. That's all this is for, is to cut shapes. This might be too wide, but you need something to press it down. And then you're going to take your fabric and push it down into that channel. Now, Grandma did not glue hers. Yes, they did frequently come apart. But the woman that I saw doing the ones that were perfect, mine are not going to be perfect. Hers were perfect, like symmetrical lines. Hers were, hang on. Now I'm distracted here. Hers were glued. There we go. Like, where did the edge of that go? So she glued all of her pieces in place, so hers probably don't come out. My grandma's came out a lot. There's our first little quilty piece. Don't worry too much about these frayed pieces because we're actually going to use this channel to put the next piece on. But that is really wide. I wonder if this is too thick. My screwdriver, I think, would be just as thick, though. I'm trying to think of like a palette knife or like a scraper, maybe. Ah, to heck with it. Let's grab the next piece. And, of course, you could do the whole thing in one pattern, in one shape, but I'm not gonna. So I'm going to do like just a wonky shape here on this one. We are going to punch that down in with this one. And now the benefit of having symmetrical ones is you don't have to now figure out where this one's going to go. Then I'm just going to pull it back. And tuck as I go. I honestly don't think you need the glue. There we go. So those sit neatly against each other. And now we've created this little shape here. We'll have to put another piece there. And a piece over here, and we're just going to build, and it looks all quilty. That's a verb, right? Quilty? That red doesn't match, though. I don't like the red with it. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's like crazy quilty. Let's just do it. I'm just going to cut a strip. And I'm going to overlap these. So I have enough to punch in there. Let's give that a little curve. The important part is to make sure all your edges are tucked in. Oh, it's looking good. Actually, I don't hate that. We will have to figure out where to put a hook, a ribbon to stick either like what's going to be the top, because we want to get that in, and I will glue that in or use a pin. Grandma traditionally used a pin a lot. She used a lot of pins to hold those things in place. I might actually do both. But let's figure out what we want to be the top. I think this will be my top. Let me find a ribbon. Of course I don't have a ribbon. Are you new here? I got the silver one. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing and tuck. Tuck, 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 tuck. Hell, we could use that. I'm not gonna, but we could. You could use ribbon. You could use pieces of ribbon. You could do whatever you want. There's permission for you. Do whatever you want. I'm going to tuck this in along the edge of this. Oh, I was going to glue it. I lied. We'll end up pinning it now because I forgot to glue it. In a baggie on the floor. Oops, sorry. I'm going to tuck this down in there. I'll make sure it gets way down in there. Another one. There's two more straight pins. Put one in the center and one on the other end. Nobody is actually going to be tugging this off my tree, so I think that should hold sufficiently. Yeah, that's fine. So now we have our ribbon to hold it on our tree. Yours will be cuter because I'm sure you'll be like thinking it through beforehand. But this is, like I said, it's a crazy quilt. It's a crazy quilt project. Let's get rid of this before I hurt myself. Okay, put that away. Let's make that go away. I don't want to hurt myself. And that's all that's the whole process. We're going to just keep cutting and cut and tuck, cut and tuck. All right, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to turn some music on and just finish this up. And then I'll come back and show you guys the end result. Are we ready? It didn't take long. This project did not take long at all. It's cute. Okay, criticizing after I'm done is like a thing, right? I would make this smaller. I would make the loop smaller and use maybe a color coordinated ribbon. Like I would use a thinner one, and then I would put a bow. Like I would like to redo this part with a thinner red ribbon and a red bow, or a green ribbon and a red bow or something, but I definitely want, or a gold bow. A gold would be cute. You know, I'm less a fan of the wide hanger. Other than that, I like it. I do like it. It's been an age since I did this. You guys, it's bringing back so many memories of being with my grandma, and that's what the holidays are about, is remembering our friends and family, and some of them are no longer with us, but yeah, I mean, we bring back those memories when we bake pies and breads that our grandmas taught us to make, our parents taught us to make, and when we make the projects that they taught us to make. If there is a project that you remember making with a loved one, I would love to hear about it. I would love to learn about it. But to me, that's what the holidays are about, is remembering, like putting the ornaments on the tree and remembering who gave them to me. A lot of them were gifts from family members and friends that I don't get to see anymore. Friends who are miles and miles and miles away now. And it's a lovely time to remember everybody. But doing these projects is a wonderful way to remember people as well. So thanks for watching, you guys. Happy junkin'. Happy holidays.
Visit my blog, peonylanedesigns.com, for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. I post every week DIY tutorials and, of course, more junkin' videos.